What's up, everyone? I am back once again for the NHL Review Season Preview. This is part 2 of the NHL Review Part 16 Special Edition. So, folks, I'm back again. We just talked about the Southeast Division. So now we're going to get a good look at the Atlantic Division, probably the most strongest division this year in the NHL. When you have such names as Sidney Crosby, Malkin, and you have other great names in this great division, and Jeff Carty out in Philadelphia. You have Daniel Briere, no doubt about it, New York Rangers, Scott Gomez, Marcus Naslund, and rumors of Matt Sundin probably signing with the New York Rangers come this fall. So, folks, this is an interesting division. Now we look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. This team got back to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in about 12 or 13 years. So it's a great feeling in Pittsburgh right now. They're playing good. They had a terrible preseason, but they had a good win over the Ottawa Senators just recently out in Europe. So now we're going to take a look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. With Sidney Crosby back again, folks, the big question with Sidney Crosby is, can he stay healthy? I know this is my prediction with Sidney Crosby this year. I think he's going to get a few injuries this year. I think he'll play about 60 games, and he'll still dominate the league. That's amazing. He'll probably be injured for about 60 games. No, he'll probably play 60 games, and he'll still dominate the NHL. This guy is one of the best talented young stars we have in the game today. Him, Ovechkin, a few other of those great players, Joe Thornton out in San Jose, Jerome McGinley out in Calgary, and you look at the Sedin twins, they're just right behind Sidney Crosby in terms of points per game. And these are great, great athletes, no doubt about it. And with Crosby this year, they went and added a couple players. Don't forget, Hossa did the most shocking thing in this offseason when he went and signed with the Detroit Red Wings. He turned down some sick money from the Pittsburgh Penguins and some sick money from the Edmonton Oilers. He could have made about $10 million if he would have signed in Edmonton, but he wants to win. And in the NHL nowadays, you want to win. I think the most important thing is winning. I mean, it's all about winning. So in the end, he signs with the Detroit Red Wings. They look pretty good. So now you look at Pittsburgh. They go add a few players in Matt Cook, the former Vancouver Canuck. I think Matt Cook's going to add a little bit of toughness. He's a pest. He's a guy that, he's going to play with an attitude. He's going to get on the other team's best players' cases. He's going to take over the world, taken over by his former teammate in Vancouver, Yao Kurutu, that made the move to the Ottawa Senators. So that should be real interesting, folks. There's no doubt in my mind that when you're looking at it now, anything's possible. With Matt Cook, is hopefully his head's on right and he plays a tough game, gets on the other team's best players' cases, and does his role perfectly. And I look at the other player they acquired in the offseason is Ruslan Fedotenko. Ruslan Fedotenko didn't have a great year in New York, but I felt he was a good fit for the Islanders, but they just couldn't score any goals. They signed these guys to one-year deals. And another guy they acquired from the New York Islanders was Miroslav Satan as an unrestricted free agent. Miroslav Satan has not been the poster boy for anybody's pool the last 5 years. He has not been the same player he was in Buffalo, where he was scoring 30-plus goal seasons, 20-something plus goal seasons. He's really, really digressed in his talent. But I think this year, if he gets to play with Sidney Crosby, I think he's going to get at least 45 goals, no problem. And with Fedotenko, I think he'll get 30 playing with Sidney Crosby or Malkin. It doesn't matter who they play with. And to look at Peter Sikora, his career has been rejuvenated playing with Malkin. Malkin had an amazing year last year. And I think he's going to have another amazing year this year. He's going to have 103 points. I can guarantee you. I predict he'll get 103 points. I think Crosby will get 105 points, maybe more, maybe 120. I don't know. Probably 105 points. That's what I'm predicting. I feel that these guys are going to play hard this year. There's a lot of pressure on these kids, but that's what it is. I don't think they're going to win the Atlantic Division. I feel they'll finish make the playoffs as a 6th seed. I think they're going to be a tough team to play in this playoffs, but I think they'll be upsetted by the New Jersey Devils. That's my prediction with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. So with the Philadelphia Flyers in the Atlantic Division, well, when you're looking at the Philadelphia Flyers, you talk about Jeff Carter. He just signed a big new contract. There's a lot expected out of Jeff Carter this year. I know that a few of the the experts, even on TSN, Sportsnet, whatever, even the New York Daily, whatever, they're expecting the Philadelphia Flyers to probably make some moves as the season goes on, maybe take a run on Matt Sundin or Peter Forsberg. But with the Philadelphia Flyers, anything's possible. I think they really want to play good this year. They want to take a run at the Cup, just like the Montreal Canadiens. It's going to be a tough in the Eastern Conference this year. Everyone says it's going to be all Montreal. No, I don't think so. I think the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be a tough team to beat this year, even though they're down a couple defensemen right now with injuries, Ryan Parent and Randy Jones. But don't worry, there's always a free agent out there, and I think they might bring back one of those free agent defensemen. There's a few out there. They'll probably sign one to maybe 1-year contract, a minor league 2-way contract, 10 to the minors, just in case their star player comes back. That's what would probably happen. But with Philadelphia, anything's possible. If Martin Barone plays on top of his head, he plays a good hockey, I think Philadelphia will be just fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they'll be a 4th seed. I think they'll win the Atlantic Division this year. So now I move on to the New York Islanders. I think the New York Islanders did one of the worst moves this offseason. Fired Ted Nolan, one of the best head coaches, I think, in all of the NHL. That was a sad moment for me. I really felt that Ted Nolan's one of the best head coaches in the league. To the dressing room, I don't know. I don't think they're happy. They lost their coach. They bring in a young coach here to see what he can do. I hope he can handle some of the egos on this New York Islanders team. I think Bill Guerin, with the addition of Doug Weight this year, hopefully they can find the magic they had when they played for so many years in Edmonton and what made them one of the great combinations in NHL history. Don't forget about Ryan Smith when they played all together. I think Rick DiPietro is going to really have to stand on his head this year if the New York Islanders are going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, it'll be an 8 seed. They'll be fighting and clawing from the beginning of the season, and we will see what will happen. Now we move on to the New York Rangers, one of the most flashy teams in all of sports entertainment, name it, all of the world. The New York Rangers went and acquired Wade Redden in the offseason, signed to a huge monster contract, a 5-year deal around $40+ million, and I'm expecting a lot out of Wade Redden. He was a big part of the Ottawa Senators' defense for many, many years from the beginning of his career. For one, I think with Wade Redden, I think he needs to, what is it? He needs to get tough. I think that's the one thing he can do. If he can get tough mentally and get tough on the ice, I think the Rangers will be fine defensively. And I think with their forwards, Marcus Naz is going to give them that other forward that they've been missing for a long time. If they can get Matt Sundin, it's going to cost them one of their young players, maybe Scott Gomez, what I'm hearing. But, if they can bring in Matt Sundin, who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think with Scott Gomez and Chris Drury, I think those two guys leading the team, they'll be just fine because they played great in the preseason, and right now they're 1-1 this season so far in the NHL. So now we move on to the New Jersey Devils to finish up the Atlantic Division. I tell you, New Jersey Devils, I have nothing really to say about New Jersey Devils. They just went and added Brian Rolston and Bobby Holik. Wow, 2 former Devils coming back home again, trying to make a difference. That's what it's all about. And another news flash for the New York Rangers is Brendan Shanahan is close to signing with the team. I think he'll probably be in a Rangers uniform by Saturday. And with the New Jersey Devils, as I said again, it's like turning back the clock for this team. I think they're going to the Stanley Cup final this year, folks. My prediction, the Devils versus the Dallas Stars. And this time, who's going to win the Stanley Cup? It will be the New Jersey Devils. Folks, this is the one and only Mark Spencer. I will see you